Low-rent television channel Dave, home of old BBC panel show repeats that weren't worth watching the first time, has announced the winner of what it considers to be the best joke at the Edinburgh Fringe. Out of hundreds of comedians performing thousands of stand-up shows over the course of a month, out of possibly tens of thousands of jokes told, this was the best joke that competition judges at Dave could find. Are you ready? Brace yourselves, get ready for the waves of hilarity to sweep over you. Try not to fall off your chair, try not to laugh your head off, try not to bust a gut. Here it comes. I started dating a zookeeper, but it turned out he was a cheater. That's it. That's the best joke in UK comedy right now. That's the best joke the UK comedy industry can come up with. At best, it's a sort of joke that might be considered for a children's joke book for padding, just to bump up the page numbers a bit, but ultimately rejected and binned for not quite working. I mean, if my 7-year-old daughter came up with that joke, I'd muster my most convincing fake laugh, tell her how clever she is, and throw some Haribo at her. But for grown adults paying 5 figures to perform at the world's biggest arts festival, attempting to establish a career as a professional comedian, you might reasonably expect something of a better standard. Nonetheless, that's it. That's the best the Edinburgh Fringe has to offer. And you can't blame the comedians, because they're operating in a culture of fear, of course. They're all absolutely terrified of telling a proper joke in case they get cancelled. Even delivering some innocuous zoo-based puns, they're standing there sweating with squeaky bums thinking, oh God, I hope the animal rights activists don't come after me for this one. If they were allowed to, of course, comedians would be coming up with far better jokes than this one. But in the current climate, where the only jokes permitted are ones that don't cause offence to anyone, every comedian is severely limited, because the potential for offence is limitless, of course. Every joke is potentially offensive, so no joke is acceptable. If the woke establishment want to destroy your livelihood, they can take anything you've said, argue that it's offensive, and insist that you intended it to be so. It's a losing battle for comedians, forced to tread on eggshells and leaving audiences underwhelmed with tepid mediocrity. Offence is a necessary byproduct of good comedy. If you can't take it, then don't buy a ticket, but don't spoil it for everybody else.